Hello, I'm Shelby Sears. I'm a lead career services coordinator here at NMSU Global, and today I'm going to be talking about our virtual career fair and how to prepare for it going forward. We'll be doing a little bit of housekeeping. If you have questions, you're welcome to put them in the chat or unmute yourself at any point. I will probably take some breaks here and there if anybody has questions. But we do have a couple of folks here from the multimedia services to answer a couple of questions about the Zoom event itself. And if you have any specific details or specific questions that you want to know more about within the event. Because it is a virtual career fair, there are a lot of virtual platform aspects. So just like an in-person one, you're going to have like ability to navigate and walk through virtually the career fair. So it's really neat and really exciting. And without further ado, we'll go ahead and continue our presentation. So just a quick overview, we'll be going over kind of how to prepare before the fair, what to expect as far as like technical things and what you need to be have ready before you start. And then talking about what to expect for during the fair and after the fairs. There's some housekeeping things that we're going to be going over, and then kind of how to follow up with your employer and anybody that you were interested in connecting further with. And then if you have any questions or want me to elaborate further on maybe a couple of slides, I can definitely go back and do that. And then I have a couple of resources that I'll be mentioning throughout this presentation, and I'll be sharing them at the end. Those links will be in the chat. But just to go over, if you haven't registered for it or you have registered for it, the link is here on this slide. Just go to nmsu.link/VCF2025, and you can go ahead and click that registration form. It only takes a couple of seconds. Please complete it with your NMSU email address, and an email will be sent directly to you right after that, and that has your ticket to enter the event. Again, the event is happening March 26th, so that's next week. We are really excited to be bringing this career fair to our students. Right now, we have a good list of employers, and we'll be talking about that here shortly and going over that with you guys. But we'll be doing more of these too in the future. So if you have questions about that, if we're going to be having more different employers, different majors we'll be focusing on, the answer is yes. We will be working on having one hopefully every semester. So before the fair, there's some best practices on how to prepare for it. Definitely register early. So if you haven't registered yet, go ahead and do so now. That way you can go ahead and kind of do a little bit of homework on the exhibitors, AKA our employers that are going to be presenting and talking to you during the fair. See if they're hiring for positions. A lot of them have downloadable materials like PDFs and flyers talking about their hiring positions and talking about benefits, salary, information like that that you can obtain ahead of time. Whenever you do get you registered for then and you do get the notification email, go ahead and add it to your Outlook calendar or any other type of reminder. If you registered with your NMSU email address, you should be able to add it to your Outlook calendar without any issues. And that way you get that reminder too. Another thing that you are able to do is create kind of a mini profile in the Zoom event. You can add a photo, you can add some of your contact information like your email. You can also put your degree and major, and that will help the employers know before they even get to see you who you are and information about your degree program. Definitely have your resume ready too, because if you have it like pulled up on your desktop or something like that, that's probably a great idea. That way you can kind of use that as a reference guide to talk about yourself, talk about your experience, your goals, your skills, all your credentials and things like that are all in one place already on your resume. So it just makes sense to have that ready. And they might ask for you to email them a copy of it or go ahead and send it to them immediately. It really just depends on the employer and how their HR process works. We do have a list of employers right here at the bottom. We have 15 employers for our virtual career fair, ranging in different majors. So we have healthcare represented, we have criminal justice represented, as well as business administration, information technologies. The list is very, very broad. The focus, though, is in New Mexico and surrounding areas. Majority of our students still reside in New Mexico, so we wanted to make sure that our students were being represented in this way. So So before the fair, some more best practices. Definitely come dressed for success. You want to wear business attire, wear a nice blazer, wear a button-up shirt. Um, Prepare yourself like that because if you dress your best, those first impressions do count and they do matter. So it also gets you in that right mindset too. You feel more confident, more capable of doing the type of communication that you would normally do in an interview, right? So it's just best to look your best and you'll feel your best too. Another thing you might want to brush up on is some types of questions that you can have prepared for the employers. I have some examples here, but I will provide at the very end of this presentation a link to some resources where that has like I think maybe 20 or more career fair questions that you can ask, or just questions to ask employers. So, one of my top favorites is describe your ideal candidate, or what are your expectations for this person starting this role like the first 90 days? That's a really big one, and that's a really important one. Think about your elevator speech, AKA just a short, sweet speech about yourself, what your goals are, and kind of what you're looking for. It's a great way to sell yourself and to be upfront with your career goals and what you're really desiring. Is it an internship? Is it career opportunities? Is it both? And that way they can get a good feel of, okay, this will be a good fit for you. And I think I have a couple other positions that you might be interested in. That way you can get to the heart of the matter and really have that great in-depth conversation with the employer. So, what to expect the day of, or maybe even looking at the day before. On the day of the career fair, you should definitely log in before 11 a.m. Locate your event ticket. Like I was talking about before, it'll be in that email when you registered for the event. If you haven't registered yet, it's quite all right. You can register today if you want. You can register even the day of the fair. But I advise and we all recommend that you register as early as possible. That way you can get the most out of the fair and the event. So you can locate your event ticket and click on the Join tab, and then you'll be directed to the lobby, and we'll all be hanging out in there, and we'll be doing an introduction there too. You can watch this video that's there on the home screen, but make sure that your audio and visual equipment is working prior to the fair. That's why it's good to maybe check on that stuff before you join it. Um, you can check your audio, your video. Um, we all encourage people to have their webcams on. We'll all be having ours on, so out of respect and out of just getting the most out of the fair, it's good to have your camera on. Also, they get to see you, they get to interact with you in a more personal level as much as we can in a virtual environment. So it's very important to do that. Another thing in the lobby, you'll be able to kind of watch that short video, but you can always hop in and hop out. If you have questions or need help from IMS or from one of your career services coordinators, I'll be there. We'll be kind of around the lobby area and also visiting with employers. So if you have any questions or you need help with something, feel free to reach out to us. Okay, so during the fair, after you attend our introduction session, students can locate the Expo tab at the top right of their screen. So if you're looking at your open browser, it's going to be in the top right, and it'll be clearly labeled Expo. When you get there, you'll be taken to the expo floor and you'll be able to click into whichever booth you want to visit. So that list of employers that I shared earlier, they're going to have their own little square, aka their own little booth. And you can use your cursor to move around by dragging it and clicking on it. Or you can, for maybe a smoother experience, uh, we suggest that you toggle off the spatial view. That'll be at the bottom left of the screen and you can toggle it off or on. It creates a list view, so it's easier to view everybody in one space. If you choose to remain in spatial view, you must click and drag your mouse to utilize the arrows to navigate from your keyboard. So you can use the couple of arrows that are on your keyboard. That's why we kind of suggest using, if you can attend this fair, definitely do so on a laptop or a desktop. Okay, so after the fair, We'll be sending students and employers a post-event survey to get feedback. We definitely appreciate it. It'll tell us how we can improve, if we need to make any improvements. So all of your input definitely matters going forward on how we can make these even better events in the future. Um, Definitely go and exchange contact information, not just with the employers, but exchange the contact information with other students that you see too. You never know who might be a great connection for the future. But exchange contact information as much as you can with the employers that you're interested in. And then download any materials that they may have in their booth. They may have flyers about hiring, flyers about just what it's like to work there. Um, a couple of them have direct links to their hiring pages. So just be sure to look at all of that information and download whatever you can that you're interested in. And then you want to apply for positions if that is your goal. A lot of them are still currently hiring, obviously, and you want to make sure that you have the right link to their career page and you can go ahead and apply accordingly. If you do need help with your resume or anything like that, and you want to maybe do some mock interviews or things, reach out to one of your career services coordinators. I'm here. We have students that we serve from what we call graduation teams. But you're welcome to reach out to any one of us, and I'll have my contact information here at the very last slide if you do need to reach out to me or you're not sure who your career services coordinator is. But we're here to help you build your resume and make it as awesome as it can be. So following up, the fair is over. What do I do now? It's really good practice to follow up with the employer that you connected during the career fair. You can connect with them by sending them a thank you email or phone call. I prefer and I appreciate when I get thank you emails following interviews because it's that extra just extra nice gesture. It really is. It shows that there was some initiative there, integrity, and the person really, really wants that position. Our event lobby will remain open to students and employers until May 9th. That's to ensure, say you may have not gotten somebody's contact information or you did have to exit the event early for some reason, you can always go back to the lobby, go back to the exhibit booths and obtain contact information from those employers, as well as materials too if you missed any of those. So again, we'll have that open until May 9th, as well as the survey too. So you have until May 9th to complete our post-event survey. If you have a LinkedIn or some type of professional networking profile, share that with the employer. Find them on LinkedIn too, or find their company page and connect with them that way. That way you can stay in touch with the job postings and things like that. So I have some resources here that I'm going to put in the chat. First and foremost is the link to our event and how to register. That link is there. So if you're interested in more workshops that we have a student success series. We have more coming up in April. I think we have about 4 more different workshops in April, some covering resumes, some covering internships. So check out those and register accordingly if you are interested in any of those. We appreciate the engagement and attendance from our students. That'll keep us doing these too. We do help with mock interviews, but let's say you're a night owl and you need help with your interview and it's maybe 10 o'clock at night. Well, you can always use this resource called Big Interview. It is from the Office of Experiential Learning with NMSU, and you can go on there and you can go through these interview guides, and they pertain to different industries too. So they're tailored to, or the questions are tailored to different majors, different career fields. So find one that fits you, and you can go through the interview process or the mock interview process and get resources and information that way as well. And as also I shared information about like how to ask certain questions or what types of questions to ask during the fair. This link here is from Indeed, and it has a very, very big list of questions that are probably good to ask at a career fair too, following up. All right. And like I said, we do have one of our IMS folks here to go over the event if you have any questions. But that concludes my part of this. So we will now open it up for any questions. You're free to unmute yourself or put your questions in the chat if you prefer that way. I will also add too, it does help to register early, and that way you can kind of get a glimpse of what to expect with the career fair and get yourself comfortable if you're not super tech savvy, or even if you are and you're not familiar with Zoom events and this virtual platform. It's really good practice to register early and go ahead and see what the event's all about beforehand. Okay, looks like we might have a question. Okay, no questions at the moment. Thank you, Gerald. I appreciate that. Okay, well, I will go ahead and stop sharing my screen. But if you do have any questions later on down the road, here, I will put my email in the chat. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Yes, thank you, Megan. So Megan's contact is also in there, and you're welcome to reach out to them uh, for any questions about the Zoom related event. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us today. I do appreciate your time. And again, if you need any help with anything career related, feel free to reach out to me. My email is in the chat. It is sears@nmsu.edu. Okay, well, I will go ahead and stop recording.